that I'm having this coming Friday, which is my my Christmas in September class, which I host every month from now. And there's my friend Dory, because she's wanting to take my sponges. Not those doors. From now until November, December, I host a monthly Christmas class. And majority of the time we're doing cards, or we're doing gift card holders or things like that. So this is a fun technique that I came up with for those of you that like the resist technique without having to do the embossing part of it. So it's very quick and simple, and I am using the Night in Bethlehem stamp set, which is in the current holiday Stampin' Up! Catalog, and I'm using as well with the Bethlehem edgelet dies. Okay, so let's get started right away before my friend Dory comes and takes everything away from me. So we have a Dapper Denim piece of cardstock, which is cut at 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So that's going to be our base card. So go ahead, and I have that already scored, so that's ready to go. I have a layering piece, which is cut at, well, it's just one little smidgen beyond the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we just want to have a little teeny tiny border going around that. And I did this because it just gives a little interest behind it. And then today we're using our glossy cardstock. I'm not sure if that's even picking up. There you go. That it is glossy, and this is cut at 4 and 5 1/4. So it's just a smidgen less than this piece here. Okay, then I have some of our silver, oh, my mind just went blank. Our silver paper, which comes in 12 by 12. We have it in silver, in gold, and in copper. And now we have a new champagne color. So it's very shiny. And I have just some scrap pieces. This one is 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. And this one is 5 by 2. Okay, so we'll set those aside. So what we're going to work with first is going to be our glossy cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and get out, I'm going to use this star stamp. And then they have these little tiny scattered stars. I'm going to use that too. So we're also going to use VersaMark ink, which, if you're not familiar with it, it is a watermark stamp pad. You can use this with embossing because it stays wet longer, and it's clear. So if you were to stamp with this VersaMark ink pad onto any type of cardstock, when it dries it becomes a little bit darker. So it doesn't add any color, it just makes whatever the stamp is darker. Alright, so first we're going to, and it's very sticky, so you do want to hold on to it. And there are refills as well available. So I'm going to start off first with this big Star of Bethlehem. Now you're not going to see this. I can see it very lightly. So just so you're aware, you won't see it. And I'm just going to stamp some random stars on the background. Just to create a starry night. And let me see here, maybe one more here. Now you do have to be careful with the glossy cardstock, because what happens is sometimes the oils and things from your hands go on it, and it will kind of make a little difference when you're doing your technique. Now I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but can you see that? No, it's not picking up. But you want to set that aside, and we'll kind of let that dry a little bit because the ink is still wet. You can also use your heat tool to help move that along. But I have my ceiling fan going here, and by the time we complete the rest of this, we should be good with that. Okay, so I'm going to get out these coordinating dies, and you'll see there's one with Mary and Joseph. So they coordinate with this stamp. well, the ones that are darkened are the ones that they coordinate with, if you're not familiar with that. So the star, Mary and Joseph, the shepherd, and these two pieces that are making up of the town. So we're going to cut them out onto the silver glimmer paper. We'll lay them out just like this, and that's how they're going to get cut out. So let me bring in my Big Shot, and you can go ahead and use your magnetic platform if you want. I'm just using my Big Shot platform, my thin adapter die, which is getting pretty well beat up. I'm going to use a cutting plate, and I should be able to put the two of these on here together and cut them out all at once. So let me move that over so you can see. And I'm going to put a clear cutting plate on the top, and we'll run this through the Big Shot. Sorry about if there's any shaking. And I'm going to run it backwards, and then we'll take a peek and see how we did. Sometimes you may have to run it through one more time. Alright, let's take a look. That one. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them this way, just to make sure. Run them through one more time back and forth, and that should do it. So this is a way to get your workout. You can use your left arm and then your right arm, and so you're actually creating and stamping something stunning while getting a workout at the same time. Save yourself some money for having to go to the gym. Let me move that aside. Alright, let's see. Alright, so that you can see peels right off. Now these pieces that are left, oh, and there goes the dog playing with her toy. Somebody commented about that in one of my videos, that they thought that was funny. But, you know, she's just like Dory. She wants to be like, hello, I'm here. But these little pieces, I was going to say, you can save these because there's still a lot more on here that you can punch out all kind of little things. Now I would normally use my pokey tool, but I'm just going to use my paper snips because they're here. And I'm just going to kind of poke out these windows. You can also use your brush with your little, you know, that pokey brush thing. You can use that, but this should come out fine. Now the reason why there's all these little holes is to help you to poke this out. You want to be careful with these little pine trees. Well, palm trees, sorry. I'm thinking winter here. Because the palm trees are, yeah, they can kind of stick in a little bit. So, there we go. We did good with that. Oh, we have a little window here that's still, there it goes. And let's do the other one. But this is real simple. And this is actually going to be a card that we're going to be creating at Friday's class. So if you live in the area and you're interested in attending, I still have plenty of room. And you could come and make one and try it out for yourself. It's different when I share things with you. Sometimes you just want to make it yourself. So I will provide that service for you. Have everything pre-cut and ready to go. And it's a fun evening out. So, and you get a head start on making your Christmas cards. So, we're going to be working with the copper foil at the class as well. And it's going to be something really fun. I shared a video on that before that I was going to do at another class, which didn't happen because I was ill. But I figure, you know what, I love that card so much, I think I'm going to share it at that class. So there we go. They're all cut out. Oh, and I laid that on top of that, and I probably shouldn't. So I'm not sure if this is dry quite yet, but we'll go ahead and we'll do our background. Now this is where the magic happens, and it is. It's kind of like magic. I'm going to protect my surface underneath. I have my Dapper Denim ink pad. And I have one of our sponge brayers. I also have a little Stampin' sponge if I find I need it. When I did the original one, I just used the sponge, but I thought, let's try with the brayer, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it's coming out. Can you see how that's resisting where that VersaMark went? And as this card sits, and as it dries more, it will come out even more and more. So let's try a little bit with the sponge. And with the sponge, you can add even a little more. And I'm not sure what those little lines are. That might have been when I threw those dies on top of it, which probably shouldn't have done that, but it makes it look like shooting stars. So see, there was actually no color added to that, but it is resisting where the ink is going. So I think that is so fun. All right, now let me get some dimensionals here and some glue. And let me check, let me see how I did this. Okay, so we're going to pull in our little village here. And this is where the little town is going to go. Okay, so the smaller one is going to go, did I do that in the front? Yeah, I did. I'd be second guessing myself all the time. This one is going to get glued flat down. So I'm going to use my Tombow glue, which I've been using more and more. I used to be a huge snail gal, and I'm finding the Tombow, as long as you don't use too much and ooze it out, it gives you a lot of wiggle room. So I'm going to put that just about there. Okay, glue that down. I can move this out of the way now. And then this little piece, I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals. And see what happens when you use a sponge? You get inky. But shows that I have been crafting today. And all these little pieces are great to use, or you can go ahead, and we currently have little mini dimensionals now that you can also purchase. I never seem to have them handy. So we'll go ahead and we'll peel this off. We're almost done. We just have to assemble it together. And can you think of other ways you can use this fun technique with so many other cards and projects that you make? Alright, we're going to put that right there. Now, isn't that stunning? Alright, I'm going to go ahead. This is going to be my background piece. You do want to be careful though with the liquid glue when you're putting it onto a piece of white, because a lot of times it can be seen. But for this instance, it's not going to be seen because this piece is going to get layered on top of it. So if you were doing it more, you know, on something that you're going to see the white, you might only want to do little tiny dots of glue. Alright, and see, that just gives us a little border to work with. And I'm not even going to put any saying with this, because I just don't want to ruin the beauty of this card. And here's the one I created yesterday. So I didn't have those shooting stars, is what I'm going to call it. And inside I just stamped Blessed Christmas Wishes, which is also a part of this fun stamp set. So there you have it. An embossed resist, well, no, a no boss resist card that you use just with your VersaMark and your sponge roller and or your Stampin' sponge. So I hope you enjoyed this card. Let me give you a closer look, because sometimes I always forget. There it is. If you enjoy this and you want to see other videos which I prepare for you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and if you click on that little bell, you'll receive notifications. And if you're interested in any of the products that I used here today, you can go ahead over to my online store, which is open 24